deporte profesional es uno de los ámbitos más competitivos del planeta. Entre ellos, el fútbol es quizás el mejor ejemplo. Suele decirse que tiene el poder de sacar lo mejor y lo peor de nosotros como humanos. Sin embargo, justamente por eso el Beautiful Game sigue siendo una escuela de enseñanza para todo lo que nos queda por aprender y por celebrar. Por suerte, tenemos los ejemplos que nos prueban cómo se hace. Son las 8:30 en Los Ángeles, las 12:30 en Buenos Aires y las 17:30 en Madrid. Bienvenidos a Herederos del Cambio, yo soy Flavio Canila.
Y yo soy Pablo Barassi. Hoy conversamos con Jürgen Klinsmann. Como deportista del fútbol, Jürgen no necesita presentación alguna, varias veces campeón en la Bundesliga, campeón de Europa en 1996 y campeón del mundo con Alemania en 1990. Sin embargo, poco sabe el público sobre la vida de Jürgen fuera de la cancha. De profesión es paradero, como manager marcó también un antes y un después en lo que, como decía Flavio, se denomina hasta hoy en día el Beautiful Game. Jürgen, a very warm welcome to Herederos del Cambio.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Jürgen, what was your biggest challenge after 2020? During the pandemic, after you left your last club in the Hertha BSC Berlin and returned to California?
Well, I think the biggest challenge for all of us around the world was certainly COVID-19 and how every country or every environment dealt with COVID-19. Everywhere it's different. There was so much of wrong information, misinformation. You didn't know anymore what to believe. What do we believe? The politicians? What do we believe? The health ministers and all this. But it's a global problem. It's not a domestic only problem. But I used that time then to go back to school and signed up for a course to get my master in business. And I'm very close to get it now. I'm just in the middle of my thesis writing. So I made good use of the time, and I'm looking forward to the World Cup in Qatar because I'm going to work with Arsene Wenger and FIFA in Qatar to analyze the games with a group of managers, coaches. So there, I will be back in the game, and I'm pretty sure we'll see a very, very exciting World Cup 2022 in Qatar.
To get to know that kind of idea of change, what lessons did you take into the field? And what lessons did you take from the field into everyday life?
Well, the lesson into the field and the football practical field is that you have to convince everyone else, your players, your staff, your people, your fans, about what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. So they have to buy into it. They have to buy into it. If they do not buy into an idea of change, don't do it, because it's going to fail. But if it's what they would like to do, like we did in 2004 with the German team, we had discussions with the team, how they want to play, what type of football do we want to see, who are we Germans, what is in our characteristics, and we defined it all together. We put ideas on a flip chart, I wrote them down, and the players said we want to be aggressive, we want to be fast-paced, we want to be dominant, and all these things. And then at the end of having 15 different words on the flip chart, I asked them if they are willing to work very, very hard if you want to play like this, and they said yes. So they accepted the change, the idea, because they created the change themselves.
Well, as a player and a relentless striker, you were known for your passion and your instinct. Whenever you face a change in your life, any kind of disruption of your old way of living, like moving to Germany, to US, and back, or whatever, which do you trust more when you're navigating into uncertainty? Passion or instinct?
Certainly, I think instinct. Instinct was always my driver. Instinctively, I wanted to go abroad to play football. In my days, it was Italy because of Maradona, Careca, Alemão, and Gullit, Van Basten. They were all in Italy. I wanted to go there. So my instinct told me I need to go there. Then after 3 years, I kind of felt like, okay, this job is done. I want to move on. So I moved to France. So my instinct told me You can do a different type of university with actually playing your favorite sport, football, and learning different languages, learning different cultures, dealing with different characteristics in people. And so I moved on from France then under Arsene Wenger. I played 2 years, who's now working, at FIFA. I moved on to Tottenham, where I met Aussie Ardiles as my manager, that I adore, absolutely adore him. Played at Tottenham, became Football of the Year in England, and then Bayern Munich. Franz Beckenbauer called me. And when Franz Beckenbauer calls you, it is like Cesar Luis Menotti. When Cesar Luis Menotti calls you, you have to go. So Franz Beckenbauer called me, you have to come to Bayern Munich. So I went to Bayern Munich. And I started to argue with everybody in Munich. So 2 years at Bayern Munich, and I went back to Italy, but to Menotti. But I think instinct is a driver. Instinct is something that is unique in every person, really unique. That's why we all make different decisions, all of us, and that's why you also have to be accountable for your decisions. When you decide you go this direction and not that direction, it's okay. But, you have to just explain it, why you're doing that. And not every decision is the right decision. You learn out of the wrong decisions and you move on. And I think that's why I'm still more, on the instinct side. So I'm more a street kid, than too much theory or too much logic to it. We call now a lot of managers that are very talented managers. We call them laptop managers because they know everything on the laptop, but they don't smell the grass. It's okay. It's okay. Anybody can do it.
Off the field, you were quite active as well. Amongst others, you founded Agapedia Stiftung, but you're also working in the reconciliation with Germany's Nazi past. What drove you to that, and what is Agapedia Stiftung specifically?
Well, I was very lucky, obviously, with my career. I could play football, my favorite thing. I could make quite good money. So I got myself independent financially pretty early in my life. And so I had friends that were in the charity field. They built projects for children. So we started to do that more than 25 years ago with this project, Agapedia, that you mentioned. That means, in Greek, it means love to children. So we built 2 children homes in Germany in my neighborhood, and we built 4 orphanage homes in Eastern Europe, and they're all running really well. They all are very appreciated by the people that live there, that do it. So it's a proven model, basically. We're very, very proud of it because it was built over more than 25 years. And the other thing I was always supporting was talk about the past. Talk about the past. I was obviously very lucky as a child after World War II. My father was a little child in the World War II, and so we got all the stories of what happened in the World War and all the crime and all the disasters. So when I was asked to support, projects that always remind the people of World War II, remind them what happened, be conscious, and confront the past. I always was supporting this idea because it's important. We need to understand our past. We need to understand where we're coming from. Why are we who we are? And so, it was always fun for me to support these type of projects. But certainly the Agapedia Children projects are very special.
To be proficient in cultural diversity, Jürgen is becoming one of the most biggest assets in the 21st century. You changed cultures quite a few times in your life. As a player, you played, as you said, in Germany, Italy, France, and England, as a coach in the US and Germany. Which are the biggest challenges when dealing with culturally diverse teams? And how do you work them or turn them into an asset?
I think the biggest challenge is to be, totally straightforward, be honest, speak your mind, and take everyone the way they are. I mean, accept them, who they are, where they come from, what they're doing, why they make certain decisions, because you need to understand their background. You need to understand where they're coming from, why they're becoming emotional in certain situations. I find it super interesting through football to basically to learn about the cultures of a country, because it's the perfect teaching example, to see where somebody comes from when you watch him play on the football field. I play still football every Sunday morning in an old guys team, over 45 years of age. We play. There are Mexicans, there are Argentinians, there are Peruvians, there are Americans, English. We are all mixed together on the fields. But I can tell you that by the way they play the game, you can tell he's Argentinian, he's Mexican, he's American, and he's English. So because this is the beauty of this game, it gives us identity. It gives us a feeling who we are, why we do certain things, my best experience over the last years was certainly when I was honored 5 years ago to go to a Boca Juniors River Plate game. Guillermo Barros-Quirotto was the coach of Boca Juniors, and I went there with two friends. One was his former coach at Columbus Crew, Sigi Schmidt, who unfortunately then passed away afterwards. It was one of his last trips. So we went there, and to see that, or to feel La Bombonera, to feel the people, then I really, this lesson for me, I understood now why sometimes the Argentinian team freezes in a moment, because they call it pressure or call it energy or whatever you call this is so extreme that now I understand that the fear of failing is sometimes bigger than the desire to win. And I felt it when the players came on the field. I said to my two friends, I said, you know what? I think Boca is now winning this game because I feel it. They're scared. They're scared to lose. You should never be that way, but it is part of your culture, unique culture. That's why you're also so good. And that was for me a wonderful experience, because now I understand the dynamics of a country like Argentina with their passion and this desire to win, because usually you think they should win the World Cup at least every second time. It should be Argentina, and then maybe Brazil, and then maybe Germany. But that's why I understood also why maybe they're waiting still for the next World Cup, because this energy is just so extreme in Argentina.
So I think my last question was from me, and I said in between cups, World Cups, what topics are we not addressing in society and we should be addressing in sports and in general?
Well, I mean, that's a broader.
Let me frame it differently. What topics Jürgen Klinsmann would us like to talk more about and not being so abstract?
No, I mean, obviously we are all football fanatics, mad football people. I think, whenever you can combine, the game with social aspects of your environment, whatever happens in your neighborhood, whatever happens in your country or, in your city, using the game of football is just the best way to connect people. It's the best way to get rid of aggression, to get rid of bad feelings. It connects us. It doesn't matter where you come from, what language you speak, what your background is, what your difficulties are in your daily life. It just gives you always these moments of good feelings, of hope, of pleasure, and especially of smile. And this is what I enjoyed throughout my life, is I saw so many people smile when they kick the ball, around, and I just remember forever in my lifetime is when Diego Armando Maradona juggled the ball before the UEFA Cup final, Stuttgart against Napoli. He started to juggle the ball on the music Life is Life, and the whole team of Stuttgart, we stopped warming up. We watched Diego doing his warm-up with the ball, with the open shoelaces, and singing to the song. And 70,000 people were going absolutely bananas. They were going nuts. And that's the beauty of the game. That is something, you adore that. You just, you want people to have a good time. You want people to enjoy it. You want the kids running after whatever type of a ball they find, and play the game. And that's why I think the social part of life connected with the football side is so important for all of us, and I hope I can be part of it for quite some years still in my lifetime.
Jürgen, your son also plays professional football in LA Galaxy. What is the main recommendation you gave him to stay his course when fame strikes?
Well, obviously he decided to be a goalkeeper, which is a very different position than I experienced. He's a smart kid. As a goalkeeper, you have to be patient. It's not one of my qualities. I'm not a patient person. But he has to be patient. He's number 2 right now. He has to wait for his moment to be number 1. And then to prove his point, he's very, very talented. He was the under 18 goalkeeper of the US team, under 20, under 23. So he did all his kind of step-by-step process. Now he has to wait until he gets his chance and then use it. But I hope he gets the opportunity to prove at a big stage one day his qualities. He has the potential to do that. But I'm glad that he didn't become a goal scorer, a striker, because then it would be always about, making the comparison with his father. That way he does his own thing, and I enjoy watching him.
4 last questions, Jürgen. 3 persons who inspired you outside the playing field.
Outside the playing field, certainly, part of my managers that I had throughout my lifetime, I had wonderful people to work with. If you mentioned Menotti, Ardiles, Franz Beckenbauer, Berti Vogts, Arsene Wenger, I worked with Giovanni Trapattoni. I had fantastic Ari Hahn, former Dutch international, fantastic people. All of them were very important for my kind of person who I am today. Certainly, outside of football, I had the pleasure to meet Nelson Mandela once in South Africa. I was often able to meet with Angela Merkel, our former German chancellor, amazing leader for our country for so many years. Unfortunately, she's retired now. I'm happy for her that she's retired, but she's done such a wonderful job. I had the pleasure to meet a lot of people outside of football, but still with football being the door opener, why I then actually met these people. And so that's why I'm very grateful to the game of football forever.
Which dreams are still on Jürgen Klinsmann's to-do list?
No, I think every person, we all have our goals, our dreams still, no matter how old you are. My dream is always, I want to play next Sunday in my over 45 team again. So I can play football every Sunday. No, I definitely, after COVID is now over, and then I go now to Qatar and help Arsene Wenger from FIFA, analyzing all the games for FIFA. I want to do some work with BBC. But then after the World Cup, I would like to go back into management. Yeah, I would like to go back, if it's a club team or if it's maybe a national team. I wouldn't mind to actually look at a South American national team if there is an opportunity. I know that Argentina probably don't take Germans as managers, but no, I think I would definitely consider another adventure because I'm too curious of things, and I love this game just too much that I'm not done yet.
The question is there. You just presented me on the bandage. Would you manage Argentina?
Oh, I would be open to manage any South American, if it's a national team or even maybe a club team down the road. I'm following all the games on TV here in the United States. You see everything coming out of the CONMEBOL region, every Copa Libertadores game, every Copa Sudamericana, and obviously the national teams, I follow it. Therefore, now let's wait what happens in Qatar and maybe something opens up.
Who would you support in Qatar? Who's going to be your favorite?
Well, watching the South American qualifiers over the last 3 years, I think, Brazil and Argentina look very, very strong. Both look really strong to me. I would put them as the first 2 teams to win that World Cup. They also used to play in the Middle East. They played many, many times in the last couple of years in the Middle East. And then obviously you have the European powerhouses like, Spain, France. England has to prove a point now. if they're capable to do it, or they're just, every time kind of failing at the end. Belgium, it's the last opportunity for that generation. Germany looks, again, rejuvenated. Younger players came in, but some olders are still there. Might be a good mix. They have to repair the damage that they did in Russia. So they owe their population a lot, the German team.
No pressure there.
But I think Argentina and Brazil, they're my two favorites.
The last one, Jürgen, and thank you very much. It has been a pleasure and an honor. What baby steps can each of us take to help transformation or to help transform our present in a more respectful and sustainable future?
Well, I think, in the way we communicate with each other, I mean, it's getting more and more challenging for, especially, I would say, the older generation, not growing up with the social media world and the computer and technology and all that stuff. I think key to everything in life is to communicate, to explain why you would like to do certain things. Are you on board? Am I able to convince you my ideas? Hopefully they're right ideas. And so it's always this back and forth. And then at the end, you got to accept the other person, the way they think, the way they maybe make the decision. And you have to respect that. But I think communication is key in everything we do nowadays.
So, Jürgen, that was it. Thank you so much for your time. And I think we were, a bit more than 30 minutes. And hopefully we keep in touch.
Yeah, let's keep in touch. It was a real pleasure seeing and talking to you.
For us as well.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much,
Bye.
Jürgen.
Thank you.
Bueno, llegamos así al final de esta nueva edición de Herederos del Cambio. Ha sido realmente toda una lección de vida. Muchísimas gracias a todos por estar. Y Flavio, te dejo para el cierre.
Y muchas gracias también de mi parte, Jürgen Klinsmann, más allá de ser un ídolo para muchos de nosotros y compartir una pasión que, como bien describiste en todo este entorno, en todo este tiempo que nos dedicaste, va mucho más allá que un cuadrilátero de un partido de fútbol o un campo de fútbol. Me llevo dos cosas y lo digo en inglés porque así me las anoté. The world and life is about people, and that is a game of identity. Y eso me parece que podemos llevarnos. Así que con eso le digo gracias y gracias a todos por estar, como siempre. Por favor, no dejen de mandarnos sus críticas, sus recomendaciones, también sus ideas para quién deberían estar en Herederos del Cambio, en esta comunidad que creamos con Pablo Barassi, para pensar juntos el hoy, pero mirando el mañana. Muchas gracias y hasta el próximo encuentro en esto que es Herederos del Cambio.